Time to kick in. Okay, here we go. Welcome to another episode of Minneapolis by Night. This is Damian's intro. For those who've been paying attention to all the other scenes going on, just a quick recap. Jade is no longer scene locked because that instance of the last scene she was in, we altered due to new information. Yeah, new information that was, that was attained. So this is why you can see Jade today. Jade is at the sanctuary right now, kind of just glad everything's over with. She's still kind of chuckling in her mind about what really happened and everything going on. She's at her usual spot in Sven's old seat, her feet kicked up. It's more of an homage to Sven at this point than it is anything else. Plus, it's really fucking comfortable because Sven has a nice chair.
Well, he was fucking huge, so.
Yeah, so she is kind of enveloped in this chair because she's not that big. But she's comfy. She's, actually in one of her better moods today. Not a lot of drama going on. She's currently trying to figure out how they're going to approach the main topic of getting the plans to work together to pick up Primeagen, because she knows of the division between the two so far has been iffy. So, she's a little frustrated about that, but, honestly, she's kind of leaving it at this point to, hey, they got to figure it out for themselves, because, until they do, I still have to run things. So she is currently still the acting prince. Bo, I'm just going to say Bo is currently occupied doing something personal. And her other harpy, Roy, is also currently occupied doing something personal. In all fairness, they have blue books that keeping them busy. So there are rumors going around within the Kindred Society that there is a huge party going to happen. It will be, highly secured. It will not be held in Sanctuary, but it will be held in one of the bigger ballrooms within Minneapolis. All the stuff has been set up for it ahead of time. Clearance with the hotels and local police and so on and so forth. But it's basically the way it's coming across to everybody is the fact that this is a party you do not want to miss. This is the Kindred Party of the year. It's basically just a way to, from the way it sounds, it's basically just a way to kind of blow off steam, just have a good time and relax. Obviously, Camarilla and Independence are allowed. A Sabata scene, and, well, it may turn into a interesting party. But yeah, so that's basically the rumors going around right now. Damian, you can come in whenever you want. She's just sitting, relaxing, taking her sip off her special beer.
Well, since I'm going to assume that there's mortals here,
yes,
I will come in, and I'm dressed pretty much as you see there, a big trench coat with a hood. He doesn't have his face covered, but he will be have his obfuscate active.
Well, it is, Minneapolis in the middle of winter, so she wouldn't exactly be surprised to see someone come in bundled up looking like they're fucking freezing their ass off.
Yeah, well, he's kind of going for that look for people who do notice, but he also doesn't want to draw attention to himself, so.
Yeah, I wonder why.
He has obfuscate too.
Okay.
Prospects to are higher would still notice him.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll he's going to kind of watch to see who notices him as he comes in kind of quietly and stands aside for a moment. He knows who Jade is, but at least I would assume he does.
Yeah, the Nosferatu would have told you who she is. She was originally Sven's harpy, who, then upon Sven's disappearance and rumored final death, she has basically taken over. With James Crow's disappearance, there's been nobody arguing with Jade acting as prince for now. James is second in line. Ben Falk has not made any comment one way or the other. He's actually stayed pretty quiet, so a lot of people are kind of curious as to what exactly is going on there. But you know, it's one of those you don't exactly want to bring it up to some of the most powerful kindred in the city unless you don't want to live very long.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so they're all just assuming that Ben is at least agreeing for now because he really doesn't want to go up against a gangrel of unknown background. All they know about her is that she um, came into the city many years ago. When she came in, she almost immediately befriended Sven. Sven, kind of, gave her power to be a harpy, and she had, in a sense, kind of scourge slash sheriff duties at the same time. Um, but it was only for certain things. So she got a rep as known as she won't tolerate shit. If you give her respect, she returns it. But if you disrespect her, she won't think twice about putting a fucking hole in somebody.
Perfect.
Yeah, she won't tolerate crap. She's done with the bullshit. She's too old for that. As you can see, you do see her, like I said, sitting in Sven's old seat. Um, her feet kicked up. She's still got a combat boots on. She's in black jeans today. She is wearing the tank top, but she does have a black leather biker jacket over it. You notice that it's not too cool in here, but as you would probably know that most bars stay a little colder because it makes people drink more. Um, it is much warmer than it is outside because I can imagine, I'm not going to look, but I can imagine the temperatures in Minneapolis aren't exactly comfortable tonight.
Probably not.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's basically it. As you look around, you will see a lot of people kind of occasionally glance at you real quick because they see that you're inside now and they're still wondering why you're keeping your thing on. But nobody ever says anything. It's just one of those, you can tell they're obviously mortals. I've always given the benefit of the doubt that vampires can tend to tell who other vampires are just because, their supernatural abilities kind of make them move a little differently and act a little differently, even though they try and blend in. So you can see a majority of the people in here tonight are actually all mortal. There are a few security guard that you're guessing are probably ghouls. You'll see a couple of um, dark-skinned gentlemen, African-American gentlemen standing behind Jade. They dressed like pure gangsters, and they don't seem to be doing anything. They're just chit-chatting back and forth to each other, and just kind of pointing at some of the girls, ooh, look at that, kind of thing. From the way they're acting and the way they're kind of looking, um, even as African Americans, they are still a little slightly more pale than usual. So you could make an assumption that ghouls are not, but not a big deal. They really have no place in anything, but it's just what you see. I don't know if you've heard the description of Sanctuary, but it's basically a middle class bar. But there are all walks of life in here because it is an Elysium. So, vampires from every corner, the bum vampires and the high class vampires all come in here.
Sure.
It is I'm making this one the most, this is the primary Elysium within the city. There are now 3 other Elysiums. One's kind of a half-ass Elysium, but it's just to appease certain individuals. And if matters go the way they are, that will be changed. But so yeah, so this is the primary Elysium everybody goes to.
Okay. Well, he'll approach Jade, obviously trying to just be discreet, moving through the crowd, to see if she even picks up on the fact that he's there.
As you get closer, she does notice you.
Okay.
You see the guards kind of seem to notice you too, but they make no move. You see her kind of look over in her direction, and she just, she kind of looks at the guards, and they just kind of, ease back to their, relax, because they're kind of leaning against a post that happens to be right behind Jade, and, just going back to chit-chatting. Obviously, either Jade doesn't see you as a threat, or she's really, she has a lot of confidence in the people behind her. She looks at you. Can I help you?
He quietly will introduce himself as Damian Grabowski, but he's relatively new to the city.
Is she not? So would you prefer to go someplace a little more private to talk?
He
Is
kind
she
of
not?
chuckles and he says, "That would be preferable. I suspect the food and I would not agree."
She's not. Yeah, it can be a little disagreeable at times. She gets up. She just kind of nods the gentleman. They don't move. Um, she starts heading up the stairs that are, a short distance behind the chair. Um, as she heads up, you notice that, as you head up after her, as the two guards that were behind her move over and kind of take a position at the bottom of the stairs. More just to give you guys privacy.
Okay. And once he's sure that they're kind of away from prying eyes, he will introduce himself more fully as Damian Grabowski of Clan Nosferatu.
Okay, I hadn't heard your name before. I was kind of curious.
Well, if you did, then I'm not doing my job.
She's not. That's true. Your clan tends to be very good at being secretive.
We're also very good at sharing secrets for the right price. That's part of my role, is uncovering that information.
Okay.
Part of why I presented myself here tonight. It has been customary that we present a spy master to whoever the current standing prince is. One that can deal more directly with the prince, and one who can deal exclusively with the prince.
Okay. Makes
My
sense.
my information will not be available for sale to other kindred beyond those either in a leadership position or those you have approved prior.
Very well. Understood. That makes sense. Never know who could get the information if it is given out incorrectly.
Well, and that's part of my role is to handle the more sensitive or political information. The movings of minor pieces can be chatted about over a table with any Nosferatu, but the information that's relevant, the shakings and movings of the supernatural world, that's my place to deal in, and it's your place to have exclusive access to.
Okay.
It is somewhat of a relief for me, as I was previously having to deal with two separate entities. So this is a relief in that I can eliminate some of the misdirection.
Oh yeah, I've been actually hearing that a lot. Is as much as I mean, I've even heard it from some of the other groups, people that they're saying they're just more glad that there is some form of leadership because many of the kindred, even though they took one side or the other, have to all agree on one thing: is the fact that with us divided as we were, it was causing problems. Now that we are working to unite properly, um, there seems to be almost
It
a
gave
sea of relief.
rise to some of the other schisms that have occurred. It gave the spot an opportunity to gain a stronger foothold. It caused the Seers to join with the Bruja themselves in their anarch movement,
Yeah.
something which puzzles me further. But it also forced my clans further underground, if you will, to remain neutral. It was rather difficult when you have technically two princes and of sorts a baron among the anarchs, as well as from time to time those among the other side that wish to buy information from us. So it is a relief. I have some additional and unique talents beyond the rest of my clan that allow me access to different information.
Okay.
Some contacts that are not often cultivated among our kind. So
Okay.
should should you require information that is beyond the reach of other sources, that's generally where I come in.
Okay.
I would request at some point that I be permitted to establish at least semi-private feeding grounds. As you can imagine, it's difficult for my kind to get out.
Yeah, it does tend to be. I
So
mean, if there's someone specific you have in mind that you would like to lay claim on, you're more than welcome to tell me. And if nobody else has it, it's yours. I mean, it's really that simple.
well, I know there is a small or not a smaller tavern and bowling alley down near the river that has proven potent for me to feast my ears upon other things, so it may be beneficial as well. On top of that, it has access to the sewerways near the river, as it's a older tavern,
Mm-hmm.
so makes it easier for my coming and going. Additionally, some of my non-kindred sources tend to move about the area.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to lay that as your claim, I will make it known that that territory is currently under someone else's domain, and that is not to be.
And see, I asked with New, and so is it New Orleans?
Okay. So, I will make it known that, it's off limits, and anybody who violate the rules of standard domain.
that'll be much appreciated. As I say, it serves me in a number of capacities. And now that I have a little more stability with it, perhaps I can establish a more permanent haven there as well.
That is fine. I mean, with the division of the clans, even, like the Tremere had a little bit of a division. So, I mean, they basically, in a sense, had two chantries within the city at this point in time. I believe with the whole election process and forcing the clans to work together, I do believe that they will then be able to rejoin the group. I don't, as for personal disagreements between them, well, honestly, that's interclan politics unless it makes its way outside of the clan or outside of their own domain.
Now,
I
if you
usually don't
speak
do it.
with these Premier, then I would ask too if they decide to abandon one of their chantries and if they would like someone to secure it and scrub it. If they do not have the opportunity, I'm available for those services as well.
Okay, I will keep that in mind when I talk to them. But you are welcome within the city. I mean, I can imagine you probably already have, got it at least from the others, but I will make it official yet again. Unfortunately, my seneschal / harpy and my other harpy are currently indisposed. They had some matters to attend as of right now, but I will inform them that you have been welcomed into the city and have all rights and privileges as that entitles. So they will make note of it. So your name will go into their books as allowed within. You
Yeah.
have been worried about some of the more recent arrivals possibly being spies for other factions. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but it's a question we have in our mind. So,
Well, I must confess I am a spy. Although
sure,
I think
you.
I
Well,
think my
not in that means.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but
Yeah, she goes, no, I didn't mean in that means. We believe we haven't confirmed anything, nor do we want to suspect anything, but we are going to be talking to Probably all the ones that have recently introduced themselves. Not reintroduced, but have introduced themselves recently to um, myself as just coming into the city. Because we're not sure if they have rebellion ties or not.
Well, that's something that I may be able to look into in the future, should you desire.
Well, it
And
might
that's
be.
part of what I do.
Yeah, I will probably call upon your services if I feel like there's something being hidden from me. You're free to do your own thing as you please. If you come across any information that you think I would need, we can always discuss a price.
Yeah, he'll hand her a matchbook, and it's from the bowling alley. And on the inside of the cover is a cell phone number written, as
Okay.
well as his initials. And it's his middle name is actually Oscar, so it's DOG, and then the cell phone number.
That's hilarious. Okay. Um, she just kind of smiles, looks at it, just says nothing. She pulls out a card from inside her jacket, hands it to you. That is my private number and my private email. Both are encrypted and secured. So if you need to get a hold of me, and I am not currently within inside sanctuary, that is where you can find. That is how you get a hold of me. If I am not here, you can feel free to speak to Beauregard, which is my seneschal slash harpy, or Roy, who is my harpy. Both of them have my authority to handle matters when I am unavailable.
He nods his head, understanding, and that's probably the first time she would notice it. But as he pulls up his coat sleeve and actually tucks the card into what appears to be a old Polish gauntlet, like a big, not gaudy per se, but a actual gauntlet from a piece of armor,
Mm-hmm.
and he tucks it inside.
She notices, but doesn't say anything.
And then he withdraws his cell phone and quick adds the number to that as well and slips that back. He's actually keeping it inside the cuff of the gauntlet, basically.
Okay.
And then he kind of rolls his sleeve back down, so it's pretty much hidden, and says, "Well, unless you have anything else specific that you needed from me at this time, I can begin my hunts and searches and follow up with you should anything arise of interest."
I don't think there's anything that I can think of that is needed right now. So, yes, please. I mean, go. Don't keep me from your much needed activities. It was
Yeah.
good meeting you. You're welcome to come by any time. Please do contact me if you ever have any issues or any other kindred, any other internal business that needs to be discussed.
He will nod to her and tell her he'd like to inspect the basement and see if perhaps there's a alternative entry for him.
Knowing Sven, he probably has one in there, so you might be able to find one.
He'll head downstairs.
Yeah, as you head downstairs, she goes actually back to her seat. Props her feet back up just to relax. And she's basically most of the time what she does in Sanctuary, just kind of watch everybody and keep an eye out, see if any kindred come in, kind of keep an eye on them. But other than that, that's pretty much what she does most of the time. She's not out running errands. And I will say, yeah, he does find one.
Okay.
He will find a hidden entrance in the basement that leads directly into the sewer lines. Sven isn't in for that shit because he's old school.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably 6 more we haven't found.
Yeah. Even Jade was like, well, there probably is. I mean, which means she hasn't gone down to check. But she knows enough to know that he always has hidden areas.
So he will head out through the tunnels back to. I assume most of these are going to empty out towards there's going to be grates towards the river, so he'll head out and kind of follow the edge of the river back to the park near the bowling alley and enter from there.
Okay. And that's all you need to get done tonight, then?
Yeah, he's just going to start his usual snooping around at this point, see who all showed up in the city and what information he can obtain.
Okay. Well then, with that, I will say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and good night.